Unfortunately, today is going to be a pretty quick one. I'm going to try and breeze through this super fast, as if I wasn't motivated enough to do that anyway. And thank you all for coming. Just to very briefly reintroduce myself, I'm Peter Bonney. I am CEO and co-founder of Vendorful. And today, I'm going to be talking about contract renewals, contract notifications, how to set them up so that you don't get caught off guard by silent contract auto renewals, which are sort of, certainly one of the banes of my existence. I imagine kind of I know they're a problem for pretty much any organization, and it is such a, easy problem to solve. The fact that, we ran into it once or twice led us to actually, build contract notifications and dog food it ourselves. So that doesn't happen to us anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And this will be available as a recording later. You'll be able to get it from our website. If you're here today or you signed up, you will get an email from Zoom in a day or so with a link to the recording. Okay, so this is the Vendorful dashboard. For those of you who have seen some of these sessions before, you will probably have noticed the task widget, and I may even have talked about it a little bit. It's particularly relevant for what we're talking about today, which is contract expiration. So among the different kinds of tasks we have, you see there is performance evaluations or surveys, various projects, RFX, auctions, etc., but importantly, contracts. So this is kind of, we're kind of starting from the end here. It's basically people receive notifications and tasks related to contracts according to the dates that you define. And before we get to that, we start at the beginning and kind of just, show you what a contract looks like, because that's going to be kind of let me actually start from the contracts management page, kind of show you the sort of end state of what this all looks like, what you're driving to, and then talk about how notifications and alerts and tasks play into that. So in Vendorful, we let you track contracts and associate contracts with specific entities. So this is not just a big file folder that you dump stuff in. This is all linked to the specific counterparty. And so let's go ahead and you see there's a variety of filters. We can search by the active contracts. These are all the ones that are active. Look for ones that are expiring soon. We've got 60 days, 90 days, 30 days. And you can filter and find things that way, and also as well filter by the various categories and whatever custom taxonomy you use to organize your vendors or your contracts. To add a new contract, we're gonna add a contract for Blue Sun, Blue Sun CDN contract, and this will be SaaS contracts. We'll use the SaaS template. We also let you set up custom templates with specific fields you want to track, in addition to our kind of core set of fixed fields. So I think I said this was a CDN contract. Yeah, it's right there at the top. So we'll say this is in CDN category. And this is for IT. You can customize these business units and these categories as well. It's a topic for another time. Within contracts, we can create master agreements, and we can link master agreements to statements of work or whatever associated documents there are. We're just going to, for the sake of simplicity, this is just going to be a single standalone document, but I'll show you a little later kind of how it looks when you've got documents linked together. So this is, I said this was with Blue Sun. Blue Sun's already set up, so there they are. We can set the dates. So this one is going to start in March, and it's going to run for, let's say it's going to run for a year, March 2024. I'm logged in here as David, so he's the default stakeholder. We're a customer, but this can be anybody in the team. We're going to say yes, this contract auto renews. We can set the billing information, et cetera. This is let's call it a $10,000 a month contract, and we'll say it's net 15. would be billed monthly in advance. And these are custom fields that we've set up. We'll say that you can terminate for cause, not for convenience. We're going to cover the US, and we'll have a 30-day notification period. Key documents. This integrates with your e-signature platform. So if you're setting up a contract, just gonna have a sample document in here. And you see we can set this up to run with DocuSign. We also support several other e-signature platforms. So it's something we can discuss if relevant, and you can either upload a signed document or an unsigned document and run it through a signature process. You can track key provisions, but the most important thing for the purposes of today is notification. So the stakeholders for this, let's say that I actually want to assign. Remember, I'm logged in as David here. I'm going to assign Peter. And this contract's expiring in March 2024. So we've got some we've got a month to evaluate it. Let's give ourselves a few months to think about what to do. Sorry, this is basically the last day at which he's going to receive a notification. Sorry, I've got my Zoom bar in the way, so I'm a little confused. If we haven't decided by February 29th, then might as well stop notifying ourselves. But we will start notifying ourselves, beginning of the year, and we can think about what to do. And now we've got that task assigned. And I will start receiving notifications on January 1st, 2024, related to the end of this contract, which expires in March. So that's kind of like the initial setup. Let me go and start now from, like I said, the end. We've got these contracts set up, and we have things coming up for renewal. So let's look at this one. So we've got the Hooli agreement expiring soon. So I've received a task here. Obviously, this has already been assigned to me. Would have received an email notification, something like this, that this is going to be approaching a key date with a link straight to the task. And I'll also see it on my dashboard and in a daily task digest as well. So let's go ahead and look at this Hooli SaaS agreement. So, okay, this is the details: $100,000 contract, annual end date is March 2023. We've got 30 days to decide what to do, or excuse me, we've got a 30-day notice period. Let's go drill into Hooli. So like I said, all of the data here is linked. It's not just a big directory with documents. It actually links to your vendor record, so you can go back and forth between contracts and vendor. You can see in this case, Hooli seems to have pretty poor performance evaluations. We can drill into that a little bit, but that's subject for another demo. I think last week we covered performance evaluations and how to kind of run those very easily, so you can evaluate 100% or close to 100% of your suppliers and IT vendors or any vendors, rather than kind of like the 15 to 20% that most organizations do. So let's look at these survey results. Looks like Hooli's been surveyed a bunch of times, and all their evaluations are pretty poor. So we're going to need to probably have some discussion about that. I'm going to check who the stakeholders are on this. Looks like these are kind of the three people that we've got in the system who are actively involved here. So I'll go and set a meeting, and we'll discuss what we want to do here. And all thanks to having received a notification. I know that I've got something to do. I've got the information I need to start to think about what to do, and I know who I need to talk to about deciding definitively what we're going to do. So I mentioned one last thing I wanted to cover was sort of the more complex contract structures where you've got related agreements. We support that, as I said, and let me just show you an example here. I believe I've got one set up here in Acme. Yes, so I've got like an Acme master agreement, and there's a whole bunch of associated contracts. And if I drill into one of these, I can see the details of that contract. This one, is from has already run its course a year ago, but we keep a record of those. We can archive it if you want, or you can mark it as renewed if it's renewing, and then on and on. Looks like I associated a bunch of different counterparty agreements here, but you get the gist. We allow you to kind of link all these agreements and have complex relationships, not just between contracts, but also between entities, if that's appropriate. And again, categorize here so you can very quickly filter, sort, find, identify contracts that are coming up for renewal. And with that, I've covered it. The purpose of this session and all of these recurring sessions is to kind of very quickly go through one little bite-sized problem, show you how to solve it pretty easily, and just kind of tackle one problem at a time, not kind of boiling the ocean, but just like, how do I solve a contracts problem? How do I solve a supplier performance problem? How do I solve a supplier onboarding problem? And then, we'll just keep doing these weekly. So please check back to see what's coming up next. And with that, I'm going to tend to my son, and I will let you all go. Have a great day.